If you thought quantitative easing 1, 2, and 3 were a lot of currency being printed, you haven't seen anything yet. I'm going to get into what I mean by that. But first, please like and subscribe. Check us down below for our CT Club, where you get our trade alerts, portfolio updates. You get to see what we are buying in this market, and it's done really well. Okay, so right now, I'm going to go over this. The cost of a $400,000 house home with a 10% down payment. In 2021, that would have been, you would have had a 2.88% interest rate. That would have cost you essentially $1,500 per month. In 2022, just a year later, at 6.7% interest rate, that would have cost you $2,323 a month. So now a $400,000 home would now cost $836,280 over 30 years. Ouch. Yeah, and guess what? A lot of people are going to be losing their houses because they can't afford a double of a payment. Guess who's going to buy it? The Federal Reserve. They're going to add this to their mortgage-backed securities, and they're going to print tons of currency, and that's going to go onto the Fed balance sheet, creating a lot more inflation, which is going to hurt a lot more people. See this cycle that's happening right now? They know exactly what they're doing. I'm going to get into this now. The Treasury is asking big banks if government should buy U.S.-backed government bonds. This is coming from Reuters. So they're going to ask banks to see if they should buy the debt market, essentially. Even though they have been buying the debt market, now they're openly saying they're going to want to buy the debt market. Obviously, this is getting people used to the idea of like, oh yeah, the Federal Reserve, they're going to buy their own bonds, right? They're monetizing their own debt. This is just what happened with the Bank of England not too long ago, when they're buying 10 billion pound a day of their bonds, and that's just what they say they're buying. Obviously, they're buying much more, and the U.S. has been buying up their own debt for a very long time. This is why you haven't seen the 10-year going past 4% to 5% to 6% to oblivion. It's because they've been buying up their own debt. But keep in mind that the more they buy this debt, it's called the law of diminishing returns. So they're not going to get as much bang for their buck. So they need to pump more and more currency. That's going to cause so much inflation. You have no idea. Like what we've experienced over the past 20 years of currency printing is a drop in the bucket compared to how much they are going to be printing, which is going to cause Bitcoin and crypto to absolutely explode once whales kind of let loose the price. Next up, U.S. Treasury Secretary Yellen says China is a predatory country that is impending progress on debt issues. Really? Debt issues? That's the pot calling the kettle black right there. She's absolutely nuts. Just like when she said she wasn't worried about liquidity issues on October 11th, and then October 12th, she said she was very concerned about liquidity issues. This girl is out of her mind. I cannot believe somebody like this is running the Treasury. Okay, U.S. inflation, September 2020. 1.4%. September 2021, 5.4%. September 2022, 8.2%. But we all know this is CPI, or the CPI as I like to call it. It's much more, as you all know, that inflation is well into the double and some parts triple digits. The CPI doesn't include food or fuel, and that is what you need to know every time the government says or media says that inflation is at 8.2%. It's bogus, it's a lie, and they know what they're doing. It's so that people don't panic, and so it seems like inflation isn't that bad. Okay, lastly, this is ridiculous, but the Atlanta Fed President Bostic traded 150 times during restricted blackout periods and claims he was unaware of his disclosure obligations. This is the guy that almost is the head of the Federal Reserve that's saying this. They don't know what they're doing. This is kind of crazy, and it's amazing that anybody would allow the Federal Reserve to print any more currency for a nation. But you know what? Nobody has the power to stop the Fed. Nobody. There is no oversight. Don't even wish for it. It ain't gonna happen. You just got to suck it up and be a good slave. And for those of you who believe in voting still, you can't vote these people out, and these people will control your life. Good luck. So what can you do? You can vote with your feet and money and buy Bitcoin. That's what you can do. It's hard capped, 21 million, and you can send it to anyone you want in the world, permissionless. Eat that, central banks.